everyone. I am Dr. Vedika Verma from the Department of Periodontics. I welcome you all in the first interdepartmental seminar being conducted by Department of Periodontics and Oral Implantology. It gives me an immense pleasure in extending a very warm welcome to our Honorable Chancellor Sir, Honorable Pro-Chancellor Ma'am, Vice Chancellor Sir, Registrar to Deshbhagati University, Principal Sir, Vice Principal Sir, including all the faculty members and dear students. As it is a debut tradition to have blessings of Goddess Saraswati before starting something good, so I request all the dignitaries to step forward for the lamp lighting ceremony and to pay a tribute to her. Stay for the debut. Now I request everyone to please take a seat.
All the best, thank you. Keep it up.
Now I request our Principal Dr. Sanjeev Soni to please come up on the stage and share his few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. my feelings of words. I'm really happy for Peri department. Thankful to them. They took initiative to start this interdepartmental seminar. So my expectations are right now, we should continue this memento. We should continue, and I propose next name for endo department in July. Their BGs, they will go for this seminar. And my best wishes for everyone, especially Dr. Bali. Thankful to you. You took initiative. So all the best. Thank you.
Now let's start with the seminar. Topic of today's interdepartmental seminar is mucormycosis, as called as black fungus. As you all might know, this is in limelight these days as one of the post-COVID-19 complications in patients who also had uncontrolled diabetes. In this half-an-hour session, you will get a brief about what mucormycosis is, what is its etiology, what are its clinical features, how one can diagnose it, what are the preventive measures to avoid it, and what is its treatment. Now, not taking much of your time, I present you Dr. Aman, first year PG, student, Department of Periodontics.
Good morning, everybody. This is like a big honor for me to represent Department of Periodontics and to be like first to start this in 2021. The topic of today's discussion will be mucormycosis. You can all scan this code, so this presentation will be available on your phone. Like it's like कुछ लोगों को हो सकता है पीछे तक ना दिखे इसलिए सिस्टम बना रखा है. Shall I continue? So, apart from today's seminar, today is also 21st of June 2021, and this happens to be the International Yoga Day. Yoga has been हमारे country का एक बहुत ancient treatment and lifestyle system है. So I'll take my few seconds to wish you all a very happy International Yoga Day, and we'll also see how it helps in taking care of mucormycosis cases as well. Right? So let's begin with today's presentation. Today's presentation is on mucormycosis. I'm a first year PG from Department of Periodontics and Implantology. I thank Vikram Bali sir, our Honorable Vice Principal sir and Principal sir Soni sir for giving me this opportunity. We'll be taking up following topics: the introduction, etiology, classification, clinical manifestations, investigations, and we'll discuss few case scenarios. These case scenarios were sent to me by my friends and seniors from across India. These are not my cases. So what is mucormycosis? Mucormycosis is a rare fungal disease which usually affects immunocompromised people. This is caused by a fungus from the group called as Mucormycetes, right? Mucormycosis is an opportunistic infection caused by 11 genera and 27 species of Mucorales, the most common being Rhizopus rhizus. There are few other species like Rhizomucor, Mucor, Lictemia, Canigomilla species. History of this disease: before COVID, it was observed like 2 patients per million population was seen. But during this pandemic, the cases have increased 80 times. So currently, from 2 patients per million population, we are seeing 160 patients per million population. So this is how COVID has affected and caused mucormycosis. So we will be dealing with mucormycosis from the point of view of current pandemic situation. The first case of mucormycosis was reported by Frederick in 1855. This is the first documented case of mucormycosis. It might be prevalent before that, but this is the first documented case. The disease has been reported. This is also called as a natural disaster disease because whenever a natural disaster occurs, it has been observed that mucormycosis के cases बढ़ जाते हैं. So it was observed in 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami as well and few other natural disasters. In current pandemic situation also, mucormycosis has come up as an epidemic. So what are the predisposing factors for mucormycosis? You can suspect a patient to have mucormycosis if he has been hospitalized for COVID for long, plus he is suffering from diabetes. He may or he may not have hematological malignancies. Organ transplant, we all know because of organ transplant, patients are put on immunosuppressants. So again, main cause of mucormycosis is immunosuppression by any means. Corticosteroid therapy. Corticosteroid therapy causes mucormycosis in people because of two reasons. First, they reduce the body's ability to fight the disease. Like corticosteroids are in themselves immunosuppressants. Whereas secondly, corticosteroids increase the blood glucose levels. So by these two means they cause increased cases of mucormycosis. Then we have use of fluconazole and other antifungals. Rampant and abuse of antifungals can cause mucormycosis in patients who are susceptible to it, like patients having high diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes basically. Then poor oral and nasal hygiene. As a dentist, this is of prime importance to us. Like there is a study.
Dr. Aman Singh was presenting this seminar.
Hello ma'am, good afternoon. So we were discussing the importance of poor oral and nasal hygiene causing mucormycosis. Like it has been observed that like 100% cases of mucormycosis in a study was found to have poor oral and nasal hygiene. So being dentists, it is our prime duty to educate our patients to have immaculate oral hygiene. Earlier we used to say visit a dentist for scaling after every 6 months. Now the protocol should be like if the patient is having uncontrolled diabetes, was a COVID patient and hospitalized for long, we should advise him or her to visit a dentist for a full checkup every 3 to 4 weeks. The third one is genetic predilection. Yes, genetic predilection has been seen in families. Mucormycosis is occurring. Parents are having it, the children are also having. But again, I'll remind that the other conditions should be met, like the high uncontrolled diabetes should be there. Then hospitalization due to COVID is also one of the criteria. Use of stained and dirty unhygienic masks. It is like observed that people use same masks every day. A mask should not be worn for more than 6 hours. This is the current protocol. So you should change masks after every 6 hours, and double masking is the current protocol. Especially when we see the third wave coming. So double masking is the protocol, and we have seen people wearing the same mask for days, even the dirty masks. So dirty mask and unhygienic mask should be strictly asked to avoid. Steam inhalation abuse, like yes, steam helps in fighting COVID, but excess steam inhalation damages our lungs parenchyma, and this helps this opportunistic infection of mucor to grow. So excessive steam inhalation should be avoided. The last is use of high antibiotics. This is an age-old fact that using high antibiotics Actually, antibiotic abuse causes secondary bacterial and fungal infections. So mode of transmission of this disease mainly transmits through inhalation of sporangiophores. Sporangiophores are the basically spore containing shells which are dispersed in the air, and when a patient inhales it, he gets mucormycosis. Again, I remind, he will get only when other conditions are met. Most of us won't get it, but yes, there might be a condition where the person will be susceptible to it. The third is eating contaminated food. Eating contaminated food has also shown to cause mucormycosis in few studies. And traumatic inoculation. Traumatic inoculation is a rare type of mode of transmission. Now, current trend. Out of all the mucormycosis cases reported, it was found that 71% cases were having COVID-19 history. 60% of the mucormycosis cases had uncontrolled diabetes, whereas 33% cases of the mucormycosis were in those patients who developed diabetes after COVID. COVID had shown to cause diabetes as well. We'll discuss how in later slides. 95% of the cases were among people who had severe COVID-19 and hospitalizations of more than 21 days. And there is one more line that I forgot to mention over here, is that 100% of the mucormycosis cases were reported with poor oral hygiene. So this is very important. Pathogenesis, these are the few points. Predisposition to diabetic ketoacidosis. Diabetes causes diabetic ketoacidosis, which results in more susceptibility towards mucormycosis. Increased insulin resistance. Patients having COVID-19 have shown to cause insulin resistance, whereas high ferritinemic syndrome. High ferritinemic syndrome causes increased amount of free oxygen radicals in our body, and these free oxygen radicals destroy the cells, the pancreatic islet cells, which ultimately causes reduction in the insulin production, causing diabetes, and this diabetes causes mucormycosis. Increased endotheliitis. हमारे जो blood vessels हैं and सब they are lined by endothelium. This causes inflammation and damage to the endothelium, causing susceptibility to fungus to grow. Classification. These have been classified in two ways. From dental point of view, the classification is rhinomaxillary, which affects mandible and maxilla. Then rhinoorbital, which affects our orbit region. Then is rhinocerebral, which affects brain, and the combination of these three. Right? There is another classification which is like this: rhinocerebral. Then we have pulmonary. Then we have gastrointestinal, cutaneous, and renal. This is the two types of classification which we have about mucormycosis. Signs and symptoms. The first 10 symptoms over here are the initial symptoms. So if you are in general practice or in your department, if you have any patient having fever, headache, toothache. See, we all have patients with toothache, right? So if the patient is having toothache and mobile teeth, or mobile teeth in segments, like if you move a lateral incisor and the central incisor and the canine is also moving, that this is called as a segmental movement of the teeth. So if you observe segmental movement of the teeth along with single tooth or multiple tooth periodontal abscesses, periodontists are one of the first people to identify this disease, because this case comes to normally oral medicine and radiology department also catches it, but sometimes they refer it to the perio department, and where it is found that this is something else. Sloughing of palatal and gingival tissues, this is also very commonly seen. Exposure of the necrotic bone. Tenderness in the jaw, facial and periorbital swelling, and orbital swelling. These are the first initial symptoms of mucormycosis. Then the more complex symptoms which appear later at a later stage are proptosis, ptosis, chymosis, ophthalmoplegia. These all words we all are familiar. I hope we all know. proptosis is bulging out of the eyes, ptosis is drooping of the eyelid, ophthalmoplegia is paralysis of the muscles that control the eyeball movement, causing the eyeball to move in different directions. Black discoloration of the facial skin, tenderness in the maxilla and the frontal sinus region, fever, blisters on the facial skin, loss of vision. Loss of vision is one of the reasons why it is also called as black fungus, because the world becomes black. But the hyphae and the fiber of the mucor is also black in color. So these two are the basic reasons why it is called as black fungus. So draining sinuses in the scalp, altered sensorium. How to investigate it? So the imaging, dental IOPA, OPGs and CBCT X-rays that we scans that we usually do are of high investigative importance. Then comes CT-PNS and MRI with contrast dye. Then in histopathology we can do KOH, that is potassium hydroxide mount of the fungus. Mucormycosis can be differentiated with the aspergillus fungus by a simple method that म्यूकर जो फंगस है वो नॉन सेप्टेट फंगस है which is clearly visible on the histological slide, whereas जो aspergillus है that is a septate fungus. Culture, this is culture like fungal culture, we can culture it on a plate. So this is the CT-PNS view. Am I audible? This is the CT-PNS view. This is a normal CT-PNS view, and this is a mucormycosis infected CT-PNS view. So we can clearly see that this is maxillary sinus. The maxillary sinus is patent over here, whereas this has obliterated over here. This happens because the fungal hyphae penetrates the capillaries and the tissues, and it obliterates everything. Here we have the normal CT-PNS frontal view. Here also we can see the maxillary sinus to be very patent, and here it is obliterated. You can see the thickness of this mucous membrane has increased. Is it visible? Then we have the MRI with contrast dye. Here also you can see the contrast dye. What happens is that there is total obliteration of the optical nerve. We cannot see the optic nerve over here. This is the main reason why it causes blindness, and the eye has to be removed. So mucormycosis is really a very serious, but yes, a very rare disease. Now this is what I was talking about, the microscopic view. This is aspergillus and this is mucor. Mucor is a non-septate fungi, which means उसके जो hyphae होते हैं that are not divided into smaller compartments. Whereas जो aspergillus है, their hyphae is divided into smaller compartments. So, and this is a mucor sporangium which releases the sporangiophores that causes spread of the infection. This is the agar plate culture. Here we can see how a mucor culture looks different from the aspergillus one. Mucor fungus is called as a cotton ball appearance. Now this is a case sent to me by a friend in D.Y. Patil Dental College. Here you can see. Here we can see the blisters appearing on the multiple draining sinuses appearing on the mucosa, oral mucosa. Then we can see the obliteration of the maxillary sinus. On the left side it is totally obliterated, whereas on the right side you can see the thickening of the sinus membrane. Here in this view we can see the zygomatic bone is totally gone. The fungus has totally destroyed the zygomatic process. This is another case. This is a rhino-orbital case. Here we can see the orbit being infected. I asked for a better CT scan, but I couldn't get it till last night when I was preparing this slide. This is the case number 3 again of rhino-orbital view. Here we have a clearer picture. Here the orbit is totally obliterated. You can see this orbit is totally obliterated over here. Plus the thickening of sinus membrane is there. Message to be taken up today, high suspicion index. What happens is that whenever a case comes to us with a segmental mobility and we think like, yes, I can treat it, but what happens at a later stage, you find that it is something else, it is mucormycosis. So current ICMR guidelines say that on the very first instance, suspect it to be mucormycosis and refer it to your ENT friend or a oral maxillofacial surgeon. Actually, it is a team effort that has to be done. Periodontics is not applicable over here, I will rather say. Oral and nasal and personal hygiene is very important. I have discussed this earlier as well. Get your teeth clean, checked, because they harbor mucor. Practice again here. The important point is there are 2 Ayurvedic procedures called as Neti. Under the Neti title, there are Suti Neti and Jal Neti. These are 2 established techniques, Ayurvedic techniques to maintain good nasal hygiene. So for oral hygiene, we all can do various procedures, or you can refer the patient to a periodontist. But for nasal hygiene, either refer the patient to an ENT, or you can advise Jal Neti and Suti Neti for it. I have downloaded and pasted few screenshots from various journals and articles. Everywhere in this article as well and in this one as well, you will find poor oral hygiene everywhere. The cause of mucormycosis, in big letters you will find poor oral hygiene. So being dentists, it is our prime duty to take care of this. Prevention is always better than cure. Oral and nasal hygiene, again I have quoted the article over here, 100% cases of mucormycosis had poor oral and nasal hygiene. Proper oral hygiene is the key. Twice daily brushing and visiting your dentist frequently. Visit your periodontist and general practitioner. In current pandemic and epidemic, visiting dentists for regular checkups in regular intervals has become even more important. Avoid any elective surgery. Again, there is an article published which says elective procedures in patients who have uncontrolled diabetes with comorbidities and who have been hospitalized due to COVID for long should be avoided. Elective procedures like implant surgeries, those extractions that can be delayed should be avoided in such patients, not in every patient. Things to remember: avoid dental extractions for at least 3 months in these kind of patients. Avoid dental implant surgeries. Prevention is better than cure. Normal scaling, root planning to some extent. Maintaining is usually found in soil. So whenever you are going for gardening, not you but somebody who is comorbid, having uncontrolled diabetes with a hospitalization history due to COVID, when he or she is going to do gardening, he or she should have proper clothing like gloves, long boots, high long sleeve shirts, etc. to protect themselves from the spores of this mucor fungus. Personal and oral hygiene again is very important. Scrubbing is very important. While you bath, a full scrubbing is very important. It's important for all of us, but it's especially important for people. Again, the same sentence I'll repeat: having uncontrolled diabetes, long hospitalization history with COVID-19. What are the do's? Do's are controlled diabetes, regular diabetes monitoring, judicious use of steroids, antibiotics and antifungals. The fourth point is very important, that is very few people think about it. All the oxygen cylinders have humidifiers. The oxygen goes through the humidifier and then comes out. The water in the humidifier should be sterile or at least boiled for an hour and then put inside. Mucormycosis, the cases has also been attributed to dirty water in these humidifiers. Don't ignore signs and symptoms. Even if you have one or two symptoms, take it very seriously. Refer the patient to a ENT or to a better place where you think he or she will get better treatment. All the cases of blocked nasal passages in patients with uncontrolled diabetes and history of COVID-19 should be taken as a mucormycosis case. If a patient comes and he has blocked nose and he was hospitalized for long and he has uncontrolled diabetes, then you have to assume that patient health is suffering from mucormycosis. The key is don't waste time. The more you waste time, the poorer the condition of the patient will be. How to manage? Again, control diabetes, reduce use of steroids, discontinue immunomodulating drugs, extensive surgical debridement is the key treatment, and medical treatment. Basically, it's a team effort which involves microbiologists, internal medicine specialists, neurologists, ENT, ophthalmologists, dentists, maxillofacial surgeons, plastic surgeons, and biochemists. This is the hierarchy which is given on the ICMR website, like from top to bottom importance, right? ENT, ophthalmology, neurosurgery. So the medicinal therapy is injection of amphotericin B. The drug dosage is 1.5 to 5 mg per kg per day, which is around 3 grams to 5 grams per day. There are three types of amphotericin B: crystalline, lyophilized, and liposomal. Liposomal variant of amphotericin B has shown to be least renal nephrotoxic, right? So the liposomal variant should be used more frequently. There are other drugs as well which can be used, but the use of these drugs haven't been documented well. Supportive care. Once the patient is out of mucormycosis, he needs these supportive care as well, like post-operative respiratory care, chest physiotherapy, sepsis control, nutritional care, prosthetic rehab, psychological care, and financial support. Out of all these, dental and nasal care and prosthetic rehab is what is very important, because patient has to chew again, enjoy his food again. Surgeries involved for the treatment of mucormycosis renders the patient highly disabled. So to bring back them to their chewing best is our prime duty. Thank you very much. I hope if anybody has any questions, please. कोई क्वेश्चन है अगर किसी के दिमाग में रिलेटेड टू दिस टॉपिक?
पिक द पीजी जिसको भी करेगा फिर वो पूछे नाम ले, तेरा प्यारा पीजी कौन है?
ग्रीन नंदिनी मैम।
ग्रीन नंदिनी मैम, शी विल आस्क।
ग्रीन नंदिनी मैम कोई इजी क्वेश्चन पूछ लो।
क्वेश्चन भी बता दो। अभी जो अमन ने बोला कुछ समझ लगी? हाँ क्या उसमें से कोई चीज तो होगी जो तेरे को अंदर से क्यूरियोसिटी होगी। माइक पास कर दो मैम।
अगर हमने रेफर करना है तो सबसे पहले हम एएमडी को करेंगे या फिर ओरल सर्जरी?
Has asked the question that when we are referring a patient, whom to refer it to first, ENT specialist or oral maxillofacial surgeon?
What should be the answer for that?
Oral maxillofacial surgeon. We should take care of our written teeth.
Explain. फिर से बोलो।
As the question is whom we should refer, so apart from this, it's not a joke. The dentists are always in priority to diagnose anything. We should not take dentistry as lightly. We are always diagnosing any specific disease, and if we have to refer, we should first find the oromaxillofacial surgeon because we can do something which ENT can't do.
Are you satisfied?
Yes, sir is very right. We should take care of the fraternity first, but we should ideally refer it to a hospital where they have a total full team. We need a team approach for this.
Yeah, exactly. That is my point of view also.
Yesterday we had a patient. We referred it to PGI. Day before yesterday, also we had a patient of mucormycosis. I referred it to a oral surgeon friend. He referred it to PGI. So rather than going this way, we should refer it to PGI, which has all the specialists. By PGI we mean any hospital which has all the departments.
I agree. We should respect our thing first, but in this case, we have to send the patient to that medical team where we have all the equipments, all the facilities are there. That is it. Anyone else? Where are endo-PGs? Endo-PGs. Udit, you can ask. अमन क्वेश्चन बताओ उसको भी।
जैसे पेशेंट को डायबिटीज है, फर्स्ट वी शुड कंट्रोल डायबिटीज।
Who will control that? Patient himself.
Like first we should have sent the patient to the dental medicine also. In that case, to control diabetes.
इसका आंसर मेरे पास ही है। Once we'll send the patient to a medical team only, they will do all the things now to control his diet. So what do you want to ask? This question only? Dr. Basic, कुछ पूछना चाहोगे तो you can ask. Aman, give mic to sir.
हेलो सर, जिस तरह म्यूकोमाइकोसिस हमारी किसी नॉर्मली प्रेजेंट इन एटमॉस्फेयर स्पोर्स आर देयर ऑलरेडी देयर पीपल आर लिविंग, बट व्हाई एट दिस स्टेज when they are suffering, why the patient are suffering from this म्यूकोमाइकोसिस after COVID, especially after COVID illness? What are the reasons?
There are multiple reasons. The main reason is COVID itself. COVID is a disease which is also diabetogenic. Even people having no diabetes have suffered from diabetes because of COVID. The second is abuse of antifungal and antibacterial drugs, plus abuse of corticosteroids. Corticosteroids lower the immunity and increase the sugar levels. So the opportunistic infection, mucormycosis is an opportunistic infection which takes an opportunity in bad immunity. So whenever a person is immunocompromised, this disease will happen. This disease will never happen, touch wood, to any of us. But people who are very old age, or HIV/AIDS patient, or people on organ transplant patients who are immunosuppressed, or people who are old age and were hospitalized for long.
I'll interfere in this. Hello. हाँ? इसमें कुछ नहीं है, मतलब देखो मेडिकल कंप्रोमाइज पेशेंट्स दे हैव गॉन, वी हैव सीन दैट कि कोविड को अभी तक समझ ही नहीं पाया को, अभी तक हम वी couldn't decide the antibiotics also which antibiotic should be given. पहले हम एजी पे जा रहे थे, इस बार डॉक्सी पे गए, बट अभी ये कह दिया कि एंटीबायोटिक शुड बी बैन, एंटीबायोटिक आना नहीं चाहिए, शुड बी स्टॉप इन दिस केस. अब इतनी स्टीरॉइड्स गए हैं, अभी हमने बीच में बोला एक्सेसिव एंटीबायोटिक इज नॉट गुड फॉर द कोविड पेशेंट्स, एंड इन माय केस आल्सो आई टुक एंटीबायोटिक्स फॉर 32 days. They have changed so many antibiotics, Moxi, everything they did their best. But अब जैसे अब नया स्ट्रेन आया है, that is a delta strain now. Delta has come. Delta is not giving more than 1 day to the patient. And second wave, they have given at least 2 days to the patient, within 2 days. This time, that Delta is giving only 1 day, less than 1 day. It's a really dangerous thing which is going on. So we have to be like that. But जैसे कि मास्क के लिए बोला गया मास्क डालना, हम मास्क भी थोड़ी देर नीचे कर लेते हैं कि सांस नहीं आ रही. मैं मानता हूँ कि डालना चाहिए मास्क हमें, अगर इससे थोड़ा सा सांस में मुश्किल होगी, इससे बेटर कि सांस ही रुक जाए. अब एक और चलो ये पकड़ ले भाई, मैं ही आपसे दिए जाता.
Hello, I took my mic from Dr. Kuldeep just to talk about the opportunistic section. But before I started, you said everything. But that was important. It was the first line of the seminar. Now you have discussed everything in detail. So what are the other conditions other than COVID-19? HIV, organ transplant, malnutrition, cancer, etc., etc. So secondly, when we are near final diagnosis, maybe a suspected case of mucormycosis, we should not waste time. We should send to EGI or some other tertiary care hospital, because amphotericin B is only injectable. The patient needs hospitalized. So having very close monitoring. So that is my very good effort. Very good.
इससे की वैक्सीनेशन तो नहीं रहती अभी किसी की भी, फर्स्ट डोज सेकंड डोज ये सब है हमारे पास. आज फर्स्ट डोज सेकंड डोज चल रही है यहाँ पर, जिसको भी लगवानी है वैक्सीनेशन करवा सकते हैं. पूजा देखिए चल
एक लाइन और है कि we can strengthen our microbiology department. So whenever there is suspicion, we can send the patient to micro. It is just potassium hydroxide stain. So we have MSc teachers with us, so they can help us.
Like immunosuppression is one thing, okay, then we get it. With that, you will get this disease, no doubt. Anything which is immunocompression, right? In addition to that, we have diabetes. What about, like, if there is a heart patient or a kidney patient or any other disease where immunocompression is not there or immunity is not compromised? So are those diseases relate as much as diabetes or minor to that? Because there are so many diseases in the body the person is going through. So what about that?
There was one article that I went through regarding this, which stated that people having cardiac stents or any cardiac arrhythmic patients may be susceptible to mucormycosis, but that is very rare chance. The main and foremost reason is immunosuppression and diabetes together. Because mucor is a very opportunistic infection and human body as such is very competent to fight it unless and until our own immune defense systems are suppressed.
सर जैसे आपने काफ़ी चीज़ें कवर कर ली ऑलमोस्ट वैसे, बट एक डाउट है जो मेरे माइंड में, लाइक ओल्ड एज पेशेंट्स हु आर वेरी complete processes or removable processes, or complete and partial processes, removable processes, even are they more susceptible to mucormycosis because of processes है उनके oral cavity में ही है, तो वो भी इसके रिगार्डिंग कोई स्टडी हुई है या कोई स्टडी हुई है या कुछ और कोई आर्टिकल हो कि even they are more susceptible?
Yes sir, there is an article research published by from Kalinga Institute of Dental Sciences in Odisha, which says that dirty dentures has caused like people wear dentures and they don't take care of hygiene of those dentures, and even if you give bridges to the patient and such bridges are like catching plaque and calculus, then also that all these sites act as harbors for mucor to grow. All these are good, but we need to have a patient immunosuppression or very high diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes. Then these are like adding fuel to the fire. So yes, there is one study. I have that article which we said that was published by Kalinga Institute of Dental Sciences.
Anyone else? Thank you most of our unfortunately.
जिस तरह डॉक्टर सोनी कुछ
आ गया
तो डिस्कशन हुई आधा घंटा ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਝ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਇਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਘੱਟ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਵਾਸਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਸ਼ੂਗਰ ਦੇ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈ, ਸਟੀਰੋਇਡ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੋਕ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ HIV ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਆਰਗਨ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਪਲਾਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੰਗਸ ਹੈ ਨਾ it grows in dead and decaying area. वायरस की करता है अपनी बॉडी, वायरस जिवें अपनी बॉडी सैल्स की बनी हुई आ, इन्ना बरीक वायरस हैगा वो सैल्स के विच एंटर करता, उत्थे ग्रो करता, सैल नूं तोड़ के बाहर निकलता, आले दुआले सैल्स नूं फिर इन्फेक्ट करता। इस तरह जिहड़ा अपने न्यूक्लियस मैंबर रह गया अंदर दी लंग दी नोज दी साइनस ते रह गया ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡੈਡ ਕਰ, ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਡੈਡ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਫੰਗਸ ਉੱਤੇ ਫੰਗਸ ਜੋ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਦੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਹੋਵੇ, ਪਰ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਡੈਡ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਰੋ ਕਰਦਾ ਮੇਨ ਨਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਇੰਨਾ ਰੌਲਾ ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਵਾਇਰਸ ਐਂਟਰ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਗਾਈਡਲਾਈਨ ਨੇ। ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਧਾਓ, ਜੇ ਵਾਇਰਸ ਐਂਟਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ, ਐਂਟੀਬਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਣਦੇ ਨੇ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਝ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਡਿਫੈਂਸ ਮੈਕੈਨਿਜ਼ਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਈਟੋਸਾਈਡ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਲਿੰਫੋਸਾਈਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੋਫਿਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੈਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਪਰ ਇਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗੁੱਡ ਡਾਈਟ ਐਕਸਰਸਾਈਜ਼ ਡੇਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਨੇਚਰ ਦੀ ਹੁਣ ਘੱਟ ਇਨਫੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਬਿਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਚੇ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੂਗਰ ਤੇ ਬਲੱਡ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਿੰਪਲੀ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਡੈਡ ਐਂਡ ਡਿਕੇਇੰਗ ਇਹ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਆਪਣੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਇਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਟਰੋਏ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਤੁਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ। ਹਰੇਕ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਡੈਡ ਕਰਦਾ, ਕਿਡਨੀ ਤੇ ਹਾਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਲੌਕੇਜ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਆਰਟਰੀ ਦੀ ਲਿਵਰ ਡੈਮੇਜ ਕਰਦਾ, ਲਿਵਰ ਦੇ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਡੀਰੇਜ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਮਲਟੀਪਲ ਆਰਗਨ ਫੇਲਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਔਰ ਫੰਗਸ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਚੱਲ ਫੰਗਸ ਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਰੋ ਕਰਦੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਡੈਡ ਟਿਸ਼ੂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ। ਅਦਰਵਾਈਜ਼ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮਿਊਕਸ ਫੰਗਸ ਹੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ, ਸ਼ੂਗਰ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ, ਸਟੀਰੋਇਡ ਵੀ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡੈਡ ਇਹ ਵਾਇਰਸ ਹੈ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਕਸਿਮਮ ਡਿਸਟਰਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟ ਇਹ ਫੰਗਸ ਰੋਕ दिए जा सकते मैं तो यही कहना चाहूँगा बाकी थैंक यू
थैंक यू डॉक्टर प्रदीप अच्छा एडवाइस का सबकी बात सुनकर ही शायद लोग एक्सरसाइज करना शुरू कर दें कोशिश करता हूँ सबको एक्सरसाइज करवाना लिफ्ट का प्रयोग कम से कम हो
Hopefully, I think so that this was a knowledgeable session. So, this platform has been set from the Department of Perio. So, as we all know that the more knowledge we share, so more we gain. So, it's a platform we should share the knowledge. As sir said, it should be carried on by the other departments also. We should learn from it. And it was really a nice presentation. And this was also staff also Gagan and Rajneesh, and we all worked together for this presentation. Hopefully it was beneficial for you all. And
congrats to Vedika.
And to sir also. Sir guided us for this thing, and all efforts from his side. Plus Vedika was there to carry on the program. And I think so. I conclude the session from here only.
This will conclude the session. So
that has to be by the sir. Sir.
यार मेरे गाने बजाने हैं गाने नहीं
ये क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ अब क्या सुना है
सर आप ये दोस्ती हम नहीं छोड़ेंगे
अभी ये तो
सर आप
रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहा है यार भाई
सर मैं नहीं करता
हम क्यों शिकवा कर झूठा क्या हुआ जो दिल टूटा हम क्यों शिकवा कर झूठा क्या हुआ जो दिल टूटा शीशे का खिलौना था एक ना एक दिन तो होना था हुआ ये क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ कब हुआ क्यों हुआ जब हुआ तब हुआ हो छोड़ो ये ना सोचो ये क्या हुआ आज म्यूजिक डे भी है हैप्पी म्यूजिक डे थैंक यू
थैंक यू सर नेशनल एंथम
Please, national anthem, please.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone.
थैंक यू प्रिंस जी
अमन बढ़िया अच्छा किया
डॉक्टर अमन मोबाइल देना इसको थोड़ा देर चलो
इसी से खींचेगा
एक साथ
एक मिनट
दिखाया